Hello, everybody. Welcome to our library resource tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quickly. I think that's working. Please feel free to speak up and let me know if you can't see my screen, what I'm looking at. We're going to go ahead and get started. I want to start from the beginning, and in case anyone is unfamiliar with the library website or how to access it, the library can be accessed through quick links from the UNCP website. All of our resources are through this gold button. When you are on our home page, if you're not familiar with this, our catalog search button is here, and there are several options for things you can search, as well as information about the library and quick links to chat with a librarian, library highlights, library events, stuff like this on the website. Underneath the library search bar, there is a search by subject, and there's a search by like a find a database button. The first thing we're going to do is talk about what search by subject is, because this resource is subject specific. So these are all of the majors and minors that are offered here at UNCP in these two lists. And our resource that we're going to be talking about is most useful for education and nursing majors. So we're going to look at the Education Resource Guide. So on this page, we have access to different books and ebooks, where you can get where education books might be located in the library, as well as call numbers for those books, databases. This is where you can start researching for peer-reviewed journal articles, news and government resources, even lesson planning material. We have web resources. These are professional organizations, online education resources, North Carolina specific resources. We have our Children and Young Adult Literature page, our Teaching and Learning Center page, Teacher Resource Library, and a place where you can find specific assistant for classes or programs, such as the Nurse Educator track, which will give you kind of a combination of information of education and nursing. So this is what your kind of research guide page will look like. And if you are looking at databases, this is where you're going to find information about our resource that we're discussing today, which is the LearningExpress Complete Library PrepSTEP Academic, which is a really long name. Don't worry about it. It's easy to just remember the first word, which is learning. We only have one resource that starts with the word learning, so that's really the only thing that you have to be able to remember. And through the education resource page, you can find step-by-step instructions for how best to utilize this resource. And the same is true if you look at nursing. So on the nursing page, we also have a databases tab, and we also have a nursing practice test page, which includes the same information just for nursing exams. So this is going to be the same sort of step-by-step instructions with images as well as text descriptions of how to best utilize this database. Another way to access this is from the library homepage. You can just find a database here. And then remembering the first word, which is learning, you can just click the L underneath the main search bar. And the first one that comes up that starts with learning is that really long name. That's the resource we're looking for. Now, as you are on this page, you can also search by subject. So if you're searching for education and you scroll down, it's also alphabetized here. LearningExpress Complete is also on this page, and you'll find it if you're sorting for nursing as well. So you'll also find it on both of those subject pages. If you are looking through the A to Z database list and you're looking for specific database types, student resources is another really important way to filter our resources. They have career information, they have resume builders, there's career guidance centers, and we also have this LearningExpress Complete resource, which will help both sort of general student skills as well as specific high stakes testing for education and nursing students. So we're going to go ahead and look at this resource right now. So clicking on it will open it in a new page. As long as you're accessing this from the library homepage, you're not going to have to sign in. It'll sort of automatically sign you in. Now, if you were to bookmark this page and try to access it off campus, you would find that some of the items may not be as accessible to you. So it's important to maybe bookmark this page where you can access that, or bookmark your research guides. So you might want to bookmark the education guide or the nursing guide, and then you can just go to databases, nursing resources, or practice tests and find it through that. Because you're going to want to sign into it through the library. But once you're here on this page, there's a couple of things that you should do. And first of all, there is a difference between public library and college library. Not a huge difference, but college library is probably going to be where you want to go, because this will provide you with not only these career preparation resources, but also college skills for success. So walking through really quickly what you can see here, you have core math and science skills. So if this is something that you feel like you need some supplementary information with, you can find information in these areas. And so, for example, if you feel like algebra is not really your strong suit, which it definitely isn't for me, there are micro lessons, tutorials, ebooks, flashcards, videos. And when you click on the ebooks, these are all ebooks that specifically address algebra success. If you're looking at flashcards, there's actually 2 decks of algebra flashcards, which will be able to assist you in studying for this. Core English skills will also include things, and this can be helpful for people who are getting their TOEFL test, or even people who are just brushing up on their kind of college level English. College success skills will include being organized, classroom success skills, information literacy success skills, academic support, personal success, and different articles and ebooks. Now, I teach information literacy, so I'm going to click on that one. It will open sort of like this, which is another collapsible menu that you want to reopen. And as you can see, there are 6 tutorials that are here to help you understand plagiarism, social media, research skills, citations. All of these can be extremely helpful for college level students in any major or minor. Career preparation is what we're going to talk about today, and we absolutely are going to come back and look at this a whole lot more thoroughly after we do this, but there's more career preparation exams than just for education and nursing, although those are the ones we sort of are prioritizing in this tutorial. But you can have law enforcement exams, EMS exams, electrician, hospitality, cosmology, commercial driver's license, civil service exams, allied health and social worker exams, air traffic controllers, lots of different career standard exams you can practice and prepare for here. And so we are going to be talking about nursing and teaching exams a little bit more thoroughly as we continue on this tutorial. But learning about a career is something that you can find out more information about these different types of careers that we have kind of resources for, as well as transitional information for veterans. So that's a really important thing to be aware of. Basic computer skills is really good for students who may be returning to university after a break, or people who never had access to a lot of kind of high technology, and so they may be a little bit unsure about using technology in classes that maybe prioritizes that. Grad school admission preparation. So any student in any major or minor who wants to continue on in their education can find access to information about taking those graduate admissions tests, as well as searching for schools, programs, and scholarships. So there is a scholarship finder tool and a school finder tool here, which can be really helpful. There's also some placement test preparations. So if you're wanting to place out of certain classes, you can take and prepare for the tests. You can't take the tests here, but you can prepare for them in this location. Students who are kind of coming into university can find information here, as well as there are some additional information that could be passed on to, let's say, a family member or a sibling, something like that, who might need help with these qualifications. All right, excellent. We're going to go back up to our career preparation because this is something that we want to focus on a lot because it's directly talking about high stakes testing and how to prepare for that and how to feel more comfortable. And at this point, when you're actually wanting to utilize anything, you are going to need to sign in. So there's a sign in and register at the top, and all you are going to need to do is sign in with your Google. This is your kind of UNCP Google. And I'm going to sign in. And that's all you have to do to sign in. You just sign in with your UNCP Google account, and here you are. Now, I've done this tutorial a couple of times, and I've also played around with it. So you can see that my resource center includes a lot of things that I've clicked on and looked at and I'm interested in. Okay, so when you access any of the information that you find on this resource, it will save it to your center, which you can find right under your name, okay? And you can log out if you want. You can look at different user centers. But under centers, these are all of the different kind of boxes that you saw. And so here's the career preparation one. And you can see the preparation for nursing exams. I think if I scroll down far enough, I can get to the teaching one, but you can just click on it and it should. Or you can go back to home and click on it and it'll expand it for you if you want to scroll all the way down to teaching exams. But we are going to start with nursing exams just alphabetically. And so for nursing school entrance exams or different exams, you can see we also have practice tests. We have different types of practice tests. We have entrance exams for nursing schools. We have human anatomy and physiology practice questions. We have ebooks, there are flashcards, and different kind of prep ebooks. So for example, if I want to look at one of these ebooks, here we have this ebook. You can download the entire book as a PDF, save it to your computer, reference it whenever you like. This was published in 2016, so it's less than 10 years old. And you can see all of the different chapters, tables of contents. This is a very easy to read. It's well organized. There are basic skill checks. It's a really useful resource for preparing for this nursing school exam. Oops, I clicked out. There we go. Something you can also start looking at are flashcards. So I'm going to click, and there are several decks. There's 6 decks of flashcards. So depending on things that you are interested in. So this is essential terminology and body systems. This is body systems. This is nurse assistant roles and skills. This is nursing assistant skills and care of special populations. And so you can decide which flashcard deck is going to be the most useful for you, or you can open all of them, When you open your flashcards, this is what you're going to see. So there will be a question for you to do, and there will be sort of a kind of topic review where you can find the answer to. And then you can flip the flashcard to find the answer. Some of these answers will need to be scrolled down to see the entire flashcard. And as you can see, there is 100 cards in this deck. And you can continue going through these flashcards without needing to flip them over as you are improving this. You can set the mode, or you can like rate this card as an easy or difficult question. And there are some flashcard instructions for how to utilize this, how to shuffle the deck, things like that. You can also look at some flashcard settings that has more of the things that you can check on. Obviously, you can see that there are sorted by all. So what you would be doing as you go through, if you mark them as easy and difficult, you could come up and say, I only want to review the difficult cards, the ones I'm having problems with. So you don't end up having to go through all 100 cards just to study the ones that you're struggling with. You can eliminate the easy ones. When you're first going through them, you can see both sides as well as at once or shuffle the cards. There's a lot of things you can do kind of with this resource, and you don't have to be making these flashcards for yourself. They're already here. They're free to be used. And sometimes it takes a little bit. My internet's been a little slow today. I'm going to reload this page. There we go. All right, so here are the rest of the flashcards. I am going to go back to prepare for nursing exams. I want to look at one of the practice tests. So there's several different practice tests. This one's mathematics, science, verbal ability. There are 2 different tests for each of these abilities, which will allow a wider variety and allow you to find different resources. Now, something you can do, especially if you prefer to take a test like in person, is you can print this out. As you can see, I'm pulling up a printable version. So there is the, question, there's the option choices. As you're scrolling down, this is several pages long. And at the bottom is the answer key. So you can just kind of like put that answer key off to the side, go through the test yourself, and then check your answers. So if you prefer to work like with a physical paper in front of you, this is an option that you can do. You don't have to worry about having to sit in front of a screen as you're practicing your test, especially if you know you'll be taking a physical written paper exam. You can make sure that you can practice off in an analog version, or you can start your test right here and do it on the computer. It gives you some information. You can figure out how you want to test it. So you can simulate an actual test with a timer where it will cut off when you've used up your allotted time. Or you can be like, I don't know what I'm doing and I want to be a learner and I want to see the answers as I go along to help me retain that information. But you can also practice. So you can answer a question and then see the correct answer. And you can see the timer, but it's not going to cut you off when it's complete. And that will allow you to set the difficulty and the stress level of your practice test. So there's some information about how this all works. It's pretty simple. And when you go ahead and start the test, I'm doing it kind of that practice version where you have the timer, but it's not going to be enforced. I have the entire question that I can read, and then I can flag this question for review. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and actually read the question and try to answer. I'm just going to select an answer at random and click next. And then I'm going to select an answer and I'm going to click next. And then I'm going to flag this question for review. And so as I kind of continue, I can score my test, or I can save it to finish later, or I can open a notepad and make a note here, which means I can come back and look at my notebook and I can collect my notes about certain questions. I can pop this notepad out as well instead of keeping it kind of connected to this browser. But I'm going to go ahead and score my test. And I got no answers correct, and that's okay because I only clicked on 2 answers and I didn't read any of the questions. But you can recognize and see how it's sort of broken out and which areas need more help and which areas I'm feeling good at. So that's something that I can do. And then I can view those answers specifically, and I can see that I flagged that question. So I'm going to come back to that question here, and I can see this information is in the 4th paragraph. This is sort of the information and places that I was supposed to look at. So it's really super helpful. Now I'm going to come back to my center because this was the NLN PACS Verbal Ability Practice Test. So in my center, I'm going to look at my tests, and there is that practice test that I just took. So I can actually delete that test, or I can view the test details, or I believe that is the notepad. So for example, I took this practice question set and I wrote some notes. So I wrote some notes in the time before when I did this, and I can kind of come back to this practice questions, and I can retake it and I can start again. So you can do your tests again. You can see which ones you've already taken and completed. There are different tutorials that you can look at and see whether you're in the middle of it. You can see I'm in progress of these. You can look at different micro lessons, different ebooks that you've downloaded. You can see I've downloaded all of these. I can re-download them if I've lost them. There are kind of other aspects of things that I could be looking at, that I could be using, but I don't have them like listed or saved to my center. Something that I believe you can download all of this information as a CSV file. I'm not certain entirely. Like, you can kind of track your progress with how many tests you're taking, what your scores are, if you're one of those people that likes to keep this information in a spreadsheet, because I am. As a librarian, I love a spreadsheet. So that's something that can be very useful. Now, I've kind of gone through just nursing preparation and what those will look like. I do want to look at the teaching exams for education students. There is quite a lot of Praxis core tests, subject assessments, different practice tests, exams, skill preparations, etc. And these do come with ebooks. They come with flashcards. I believe they come with flashcards. As you can see, I'm kind of looking at this. I'm going to just click on one of these. And as you can see at the top, I've selected tests. If I select, I'm wondering if I can select this. I can't. That's fun. That's okay. I'm going to go back to teaching exams. So let's say I'm looking at like mathematics preparation. This is a preparation section. It is practice tests and ebooks. So this is an ebook for getting ready for it. This is a study guide. And then these are your 4 practice tests that you will be able to kind of do the very same thing that we just talked about. If you're preparing for the Texas, this is the Texas core subjects, you're also getting different practice tests here. As you can see, this section includes 10 different tests. So even if it appears that there's only like one section, when you click on those, there's a whole lot more information. So let's say Praxis Elementary Education Multiple Subject Practice. If I click on that, that includes 8 different tests, even though that was only one link. So there's a lot more information under these links even if it looks like there's only 2 or 3 resources, there's going to be a lot more that's kind of hidden within this. And I believe, yeah, you can select this drop-down box to get more options. So this is Praxis speech language pathology practice tests. I can select that. There are 2 different tests for that specific practice test. So I'm going to go back to my center. I am going to go back home. When you are signed into your center, probably you will be able to save this page. I actually have not tested this off campus, so my recommendation would be you can save this page where you're signed in with your UNCP Google email address. However, if you find that it's not working, do come back to the library resource and save this page so that you can continue to have access to this without having to realize that there's some issue with access. Okay, I am going to stop sharing the screen. And I am going to stop recording. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to contact myself. My name is Elizabeth Jones. I'm at the Livermore Library. Feel free to contact me or any of the librarians about using this resource, and we would be more than happy to support you.